blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
In the center.
Alrighty, dighty. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the center. Your boy Veep, got Sharita, got my man D-Ray in the building. How is everyone doing? How you guys doing?
Great.
Vertigo sucks.
That it does. So before we have an amazing show, a lot of good stuff we want to talk about, but let's pay some bills first. And of course, if you didn't know, tonight is brought to you by blastradio247.com, where they're the champion of indie music. You can listen to artists from around the globe right there on your smartphone. Hey, on your computer, go to blastradio247.com, and you have access to the sound player, or you can go to the Live 365, look up Blast Radio 247, and you can also go through that app as well. And for those who don't know, if you're an independent artist or a spoken word poet or up-and-coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans. So if you're a fan of great music, you too can go to blastmusic247.com, register as a unlimited fan, and have access to hundreds of independent music. Blast, we're constantly changing the industry one artist at a time. Alrighty. Well, I appreciate the music, D-Ray, but it is definitely Sharita's time. So we are going to play a song by Sharita. This is called For the Love. So let's check it out. Crank it out. As always, these producers always come out with something.
Yeah, that's nasty right there.
Thank you. Shouts out the Drugs Beats for the Drugs Beats Volume 1 beat pack. You haven't gotten, check him out. Drugs Beats. He's a Grammy Award nominated beat maker from the South.
That's
one of the heaviest with lesser known guys.
That's what's up. So listen, we're going to talk something deep real quick. Let me drop this down a little bit. So there's a story that I actually saw on Reddit, and it's important regarding any artist that is into buying lease beats. Now, this right here is a very dissected contract, but I'm going to read to you in short basically what it's saying, okay? The first part is this. A 17-year-old who was working on what he considered a fire EP recently found out the hard way how these license deals are set up. After buying a beat and preparing for distribution, they discovered that the serious fine print in the license agreement that most folks, especially you young artists, don't read. Here's what the license says. The producer automatically gets 100% of the master rights. The producer also receives 50% of publishing and songwriting composition credits. Ownership of the instrumental remains with the producer, depending on the leasing type. These terms are standard for many non-exclusive licenses, and they mean you don't fully own the track, even if you paid for the beat. They can seriously impact how much you earn and how much control you have when the song blows out. So the takeaway: buying beats is convenient, but not understanding what you're signing for can cost you in the long run. Learn the business side. Read your contracts. Know your rights, and if possible, connect directly with the producer or consider learning production yourself. D-Ray, give us a little more fuel for the fire on that one, sir.
I mean, basically,
D-Ray, thank you for the compliment.
Oh, no doubt. You know how I feel about your production, but basically using lease beats and using beats like that, and I'm a loop in people who grab beats off of YouTube and use them. While very, very convenient, the caveat is that you're not preparing yourself for success. You are actually preparing yourself for failure using that. Because what winds up happening is you have a whole segment of the music industry right now that makes its money on people who don't know the business. Let me repeat that. Please you have a whole segment of the music industry that right now that makes a lot of money on people who don't know the business. So what does that mean? That means that you will go in and you'll do a lease beat and you'll either buy it or whatever you're going to do with it, not understanding that you don't own it, right? So what happens if it blows up? Who owns the rights on that? Well, just like you saw with this contract, you don't. Right? And it gets deeper because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've always read contracts, but because of me being burned years and years ago, I got to the habit of reading contracts. And, you know, even down to the distributors, there is a distributor out there for you indies that I'm not going to name them right yet. I don't think I am. But if you read the fine print, when you're using this distributor to release your music, it tells you that using the service, you surrender your first right to refuse. Now, what does that mean? What is a first right to refuse? That means that, let's say someone wanted to use your beat in a movie, and you decided you wanted to say, you know what? I don't want to be in that movie. It goes against my morals. It goes against whatever. I don't want to do that. Well, if you gave up your first right of refusal, you don't have the right to refuse anymore.
It's like first-hand bid itself.
Pretty much. And so at that point, they are making the decisions for you regarding your art. And so it's just and the thing is, that only happens when you have music that has hit potential, right? So you're going to look at, out of 10 rappers, maybe one might actually make a little bit of noise, right? That's how it is these days, and that's how the market is so flooded. And the market is flooded because people go and use these lease beats.
Yeah,
we joke all the time, Veep and I, because we curate for Blast Radio 247. We always joke about a certain part of the world that it seemed like the entire village used the same beat, because we got like 15, 20 different Afrobeat tracks, but it's the same beat, just different people using it. And that is a small microcosm of where music is right now. So,
Sharita, what do you think about that?
I think that people need to stop being so hasty and read. We are in a microwave society where everybody wants instant results, instant success.
Yep.
And you got to really slow down.
Yep.
I will also say, to piggyback off of what D-Ray said, even in the studio session, unless you specify that you have your own publishing to the person who's engineering your work, it will become a part of that studio's repertoire. They will have the masters to your work.
You know, I mean, I'm gonna piggyback on that too, Sharita, because that's a good point. You know, a lot of times when recording studios do that, is when you haven't paid your studio bill. You know, and you go in and you say, "Hey, dude, can I come in and lay some tracks?" And they go, "Sure, lay as much as you want." Especially if you're somebody good, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
you're my
so,
man. He will cook anytime. I bet he will.
I bet he will. And you know, because at the end of the day, people don't really understand that when you're talking about copyrights, there are 2 copyrights to every song on Planet Earth. There's the performing rights copyright, and then there's the SR, which is the master copyright, right? And so you got to go in armed with the knowledge, because these people are not going to give you knowledge. They're going to profit off of your demise, you know?
Absolutely.
And from now on, shout out to DJ Sugar Shack. That's my man. One night we coming back, I was taking him home, and we out of the blue, in the middle of the street, we saw a cat that was eating on a dead possum. And we looked at each other without blinking and was like, I guess it's hard out here for everybody. And so, from now on, you know, anytime I see stuff that is like savage, or, you know, people are scavenging, old possum eating ass cat, that's what these skills are. That's what, when people are profiting off of your ignorance.
Yeah.
You know, and that is why split sheets are vital and crucial any session that you're working in. What is a split sheet? Split sheet is basically a piece of paper that says who did what on this track. Yes.
No, I was going to count. You were going to give 2 before the split sheet, I think.
Oh, well, I'm getting there, I guess. I'm off the dome. But with the split sheet, I explain it like this to people. Think of a pie, your favorite pie, and cut it into 3 pieces. You got the music, you got the lyrics, and then you have the melody. 33.3%, 33.3%, 33.3%. Those represent the 3 elements of a song. That also represents who on the split sheet did what. So in a setting where you're working with a producer and it's just one producer and one artist, usually the producer provides the music, the artist provides the lyrics, and then y'all 2 split the melody. And so now the song is 50-50. But you have situations where you have multiple people that did tracks, or you have multiple people that came up with the lyrics. You have multiple people that came up with a hook. And so the split sheet is crucial just in case this song turns into another Old Town Road. And the last thing you want to do is to try to sue somebody after they're already a millionaire.
And think about whenever a song, I mean, people who are talented, people who are in this business know a hit when they hear it. It might take a while for some, might not take as long for others. But if people hear a track and know that it's a hit, they will literally, hey, let me go ahead and get a couple people I know and put them in on this credit.
Oh boy.
Or even, I mean, you know, this is the way that a lot of generational wealth is conceived. Artists will put their children's names in the places where it's production and writing and you know, all the little nuggets and places. Because like I go through record union for my services to be able to be heard on all the digital streaming platforms. And they actually have a split sheet feature, which is exciting to me. And I like Record Union. If you want to look into it, you can. By no means does Blast or me co-sign it, but I'm saying it does have a split sheet feature where you don't have to do it yourself. But it also has places where you can put in producer, composer, singer, engineered by, and publishing. And it's very, very vital for those elements to be completed, so your track will have who it belongs to. You know, it's really, really important. I can't say it enough. Old Town Road was a great example. You care to explain that to them, because they might not know.
Absolutely. Just real quick. Old Town Road was Lil Nas X a few years back. He leased the beat off of, I want to say it was SoundCloud. He snatched it off of SoundCloud, paid $40 to use it, and next thing you know, it started blowing up. And now, instead of one writer, I think he eventually wound up to 6 or 7, because you had to give writer credit to the people who put the beat together and the people where they got the sample from. So, and it turned into a complicated thing, because I think even Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails is now a writer of Old Town Road, because part of his track was on there, and it just gets really, really convoluted. And I'm gonna also say this, for you beat makers and producers out there, Splice and things like that, like TrackLib, all these places are so great that you can get easy access to a lot of sounds and samples and things of that nature, royalty free. However, repeat after me, boys and girls. However, if me and Sharita are on Splice and I hear a piano sample, she hears that piano sample, and we both put a beat together without changing that sample, and she is able to get it to the market before me, guess what's going to happen to my track? I'm going to get bounced.
Yep.
Because she beat me to the market. This is what happens when you're lazy and you don't do nothing with them samples, and you're just, not that there's anything, it's technically not anything illegal with that, and it's really not anything nefarious with it. It to me is just lazy.
Wow.
You're not chopping it, you're not, change the key, do something.
You're just trying to make it your own. You're just trying to really, you don't care about the originator. I think Smokey Robinson said it best. He was like, use my work. Make it your own. But you laughing about Smokey Robinson? Yeah,
I was like, no Smokey.
Let's not talk about that part, because that's not hip hop related. But we'll leave Smokey Robinson alone. I will say that the days of just making the beat, getting it out, and seeing if the person who originated the track is going to come after you is over. You might want to stop doing that. Producers.
So let me also piggyback on that, Sharita. Court case 2 or 3 years ago. And y'all can Google it. Nicki Minaj was after Tracy Chapman to use her song "Fast Car," and Tracy Chapman unequivocally said no. I don't want to be involved in that track or whatever. Unbeknownst to Tracy Chapman.
What up, Kev?
Unbeknownst to Tracy Chapman, Nicki Minaj had already produced the song, or had already made the song, and she made the mistake of giving it to Funkmaster Flex. And of course, he did what he did. Right.
No hip hop exclusive.
Right, that part. And so now the song is out there. Her people, her lawyer teams, and all that, they filed suit, and now It is actually against the law because it is a court. It was a set of precedent. Producers, you can't use somebody else's stuff without permission, even to demo at home.
Wow.
That is technically now illegal.
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
So if you think that just snatching something off of YouTube, oh, I'm gonna be able to. No, you can't. And here's what happened. You'll sit there and you think that, oh, well, I ain't making a whole lot of money. Nobody's gonna sue me. Wrong.
They will sue socks off.
Wrong.
Ask the parents of the kids on Napster days. They got sued.
Look. The originators didn't make no money off of the tracks. You've seen the movies, Ray Charles movie, the James Brown movie. These guys are fighting for 10 cent, 20 cent. The precedent was 45 cent a record in the Ray Charles movie, right?
Somewhere around there.
It was unheard of.
But see,
that's almost
Ray Charles, right? Because see, Ray Charles was an actual producer and artist, right?
Yeah.
What winds up happening, you have songwriters like I'll use Johnny Otis, and people like, who the heck is that? Go back and Google him. He wrote a lot of rock and roll hits in the 50s. It died broke.
Wow.
Because a lot of white artists, not just Elvis, but a lot of white artists would say, yeah, we'll record it, but you got to sign over publishing to us. And so you have,
if you even wanted to get, you had to have a white face.
Right. And so like the Pat Boones, the Bill Haleys, the Jerry Lee Lewises, all of these white faces, they made millions upon millions of dollars. But the people who originated the tracks couldn't even afford to be buried and don't have grave markers. And while we think that, oh, that's ancient history in the 50s, guess what, hip hop stars? It's happening still today. People, you got somebody that had a hit hip hop record and they get sick or they die, and the next thing you know, people are trying to do a GoFundMe. Because you didn't take care of business.
That's wild.
And that's just, unfortunately, that's just the reality.
Yeah.
Kev said that's crazy. Buddy Holly and them, yeah.
Buddy Holly was good for giving people credit. He didn't take a lot of stuff because he was his own producer. Buddy Holly was a decent dude. But there was a lot of them, like Elvis and his manager. That was horrible.
I need to see that recent movie of Elvis. I heard it was pretty good.
It is very good, and it is hard. Hanks. It's hard to look at Tom Hanks as a villain, but he played a villain real good.
What? Wait a minute. He was better than he was in Road to Perdition?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Tom Hanks.
He was a bigger villain than he was in Road to Perdition.
Tom Hanks as Colonel Tom Parker. Elvis's manager was head and shoulders better than he was in Road to Perdition.
Oh my! I have to see it just on the strength of that. I mean,
jump on YouTube and look at a scene. It's a scene where he's telling Elvis what he's gonna do and when he's gonna do it, and there's a crazy look in his eye. There's just like, dang. You know what I mean? It's like,
okay,
yeah, like for real. So
better give Tom Hanks his flowers.
That part.
For those of you that don't know, Road to Perdition is a movie where he played a gangster. He was actually a hitman. And then it's a movie that D-Ray's speaking about with Elvis, him being his manager. Not to get too off subject, but just want to clarify for the people.
That's cool.
Not a problem.
But go ahead, man. No, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, thanks for sharing, guys. That is a very important topic, and we don't want any of our artists, Blast does not want any of their artists to fall into that trap, because it is very easy, and they'll get you. All righty.
Real quick, just because think about it. If you go through your favorite medium to get all of your clearance for the DSPs to play your music, and then you have the MP3 and you're sending it out to companies to, help you get your music heard. That complicates it for everybody.
Okay, you're right. I got to talk about this real quick. So, because this story, for the people who don't know, now, the Center is a hip hop show, but
we are musically inclined.
this right here feeds into Michael Jackson owning about half of the music before he died, half of modern music, and why Prince never worked with anybody that didn't own their own masters, right? Mm-hmm. So Kev brings up this. That's why I wasn't mad at MJ owning the Beatles catalog. What are your thoughts on the fight between Michael and Paul? So here's what happens. Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney, who was one of the Beatles, they were having dinner, and just casually, Paul goes, "Hey, Michael, you really should get in publishing because that's where the money is at." And Michael goes, "Really?" And it's like, "Yeah, you should really try to get in publishing." Fast forward, Thriller becomes like this mega giant juggernaut of money-making business. What does Michael do? He buys ATV Music Publishing, but just so happens to be the entire Beatles catalog. So every time, and I need y'all to Google, if y'all are really interested in the music business, I need y'all to Google that deal, because it actually came with buildings. It came with a record. Wow. It came with a record company. It came with, copyrights after copyrights after copyright. And so every time that the Beatles music was used in a commercial from about 84 up until the time Michael died, he got paid.
That's wild.
Now, he also owned a lot of the old school rock and roll copyrights. And what Michael did, he would give these artists back their copyrights.
Their masters? Right?
Yeah. He would give them back their masters. And so, and it got to the point where there's a rumor that I hadn't necessarily been substantiated or not, but there was a thing that Eminem had made a joke about Michael back in like the early 2000s. And somebody asked Michael Jackson about it. It was like, it's all right. Because every time Eminem opened his mouth, I get a check. Because Michael owned his copyright. Michael owned his masters. So,
Tell me how that would happen if Interscope and Aftermath were.
So think about it. Think about Aftermath and Interscope. Think about when the firm kind of flopped. Remember that? When Dr. Dre and
distribution.
Yeah.
And Aftermath is.
Yeah. So a lot of times what happens, these companies, when they're strapped for cash, they will leverage the masters that they have to get an infusion of cash. And if someone comes up with an offer that's too good for you to turn down, you will go ahead, especially if you're trying to get out of the business, you're trying to go do something else, you will go ahead and sign those masters over to somebody to take it over. All right. Or, in some cases, you never own the masters to begin with. You didn't know nobody.
You mean even like with draft picks that you've never made yet?
Yeah.
Be like, like any music that you do from now until X amount of year, I'm gonna own that.
There were copyright cases just like that. There's a Tina Marie case. Tina Marie, R&B legend, white blue-eyed soul legend. There's a court case that she had to fight with Motown in the early 80s because Berry Gordy shelved her record to keep her signed to Motown.
Yeah.
And so,
that's tough.
Yeah. And so that set a precedent for what record companies could do and the amount of leverage that an artist could have when they're trying to either obtain their masters or trying to leverage their masters. And so for every success story, there's a lot of people out there that have hit records and still got to go deal drugs or still got to go work at McDonald's.
Dang. It's hard out there. Hot out there in them streets, man.
No shade on anybody, but Sadat X is a med tech. A medical assistant. Excuse me, not a med tech. He's a medical assistant in a hospital in New York City. He says he does it just to have the insurance, just to have a flow of income. He does shows, he still does things, but you got to do what you got to do.
Facts.
Yeah.
There it is. All right.
Oh, I know. You know, it just came to me. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I gotta speak to the artist.
Wow,
stop being cheap.
Come on.
That's another one.
So let's talk about that real quick. D-Ray, what do you mean stop being cheap? You know, if you would actually get into a relationship with a producer and negotiate a producer's rate, as opposed to always wanting a free beat and then wondering why your producer don't return your phone call. Maybe, just maybe, if you develop those relationships ahead of time, as opposed to going to a BeatStars or going to YouTube, then just maybe you can not only get someone that will help you develop an original sound, but you won't run into these situations where you don't own nothing. So.
And if you have to make your own beats, go to places where you can get those sounds, you know, but don't be afraid to make it legal. Find out what's going to make it legit. Rappers, sign up with BMI or ASCAP.
Please.
Sound Exchange. You know, make sure that you're protecting yourself in some way. Of course, you can't be with BMI and ASCAP at the same time. So somebody be like, yo, who you with, BMI or ASCAP? And you say both. They know you lying.
I got both, fam. Just sign with us.
You know what I mean? It's like, nah, I don't think so.
You can't be with both.
Yeah.
Just start to protect yourselves, because the era, I mean, A&R still exists.
Not really.
Let me finish. A&R still exists. They exist in the artist development realm, not necessarily as scouting talent for labels, because labels don't want your talent anymore.
Yeah, they want your influence.
They want your stupidity. Of course, we put the disclaimer up before the show started about my viewpoint is not the viewpoint of Blast, right?
Well, I mean, that goes without saying, but
I'm just saying, like, make sure that you are protecting yourself. Make sure that you are a well-rounded artist. Make sure that you got to be dang near ready to be put out if you're going to allow someone to help you with your success, whether it's a manager or distribution or even a label. If they said they wanted to give you some kind of deal, I don't know what kind of deal any labels could give anybody these days without someone's eyebrows being raised as to what's in it for you. So I know what I'm gonna get. But it's no longer just I'm about to get my music together and my look together and my whatever together, and someone's gonna come find me. No one's coming to find you. No one is coming to see you, Otis. They're going to take advantage of you. They're going to take advantage of you. You have to have some type of mental prowess about what it is that you're trying to accomplish. There's no way to not be a business person or business individual and an artist. There's no separation anymore.
You definitely got to be business minded, and you got to look at yourself as a commodity, and or your art as a commodity, and you got to treat it as such, because if you don't, somebody else will.
Look at the stuff that's going on. I mean, I don't know the full gist of what's going on with Chris Brown, but that's a crazy number. I saw Chris Brown in a crazy number. I said, wow, they didn't did Chris Brown dirty too.
That's more of that's more of a defamation thing. But you're right. That's more of a defamation thing. But the case against Drake and UMG and Kendrick, that's the one where, if you look at the nuts and bolts of the deal, that using bots and using all of this automated stuff and these automated sales funnels, that's how Drake was able to get, such a market reach. But now you want to sue because they did the same thing with Kendrick? Come on, dude. What are you doing?
And what's crazy is the one thing that I saw most recently in regard to Drake and his pursuit of whatever he's pursuing. He's mad because they're still using the word PEDOPHILE.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they bit him back and said, hey man, you started this. You started calling and throwing mud from the start. You started name calling and throwing mud from the start. And I know we as listeners can go back and listen and remember the punchlines that he or whoever wrote.
Yeah.
Jabbing at people.
Yep.
He's been jabbing a long time. And I'm not saying that it's fair to call someone the PEDOPHILE. It is not, especially that's a heavy word. But some of the stuff that you jabbed at was heavy words. It's kind of like, grow up. This is business. And a lot of terms that means this is war out here. There's a war going outside. Ain't nobody safe from.
That's it. And look what Kev is just saying right here. You also have to look at what your music can get you beyond fame, merchandise, door sales, related business endeavors, etc. That is an important fact because at the end of the day, if all you want to be is famous, there's somebody that will make you famous.
Yeah.
You'll die broke.
Just to be popular.
Yeah, but you'll be famous.
No thanks.
That's Vanilla Ice.
Sharita's hitting 9,000 tonight. Dirty.
I ain't got nothing to say to that.
I'm just saying, I don't know why he got into the game, but he was in it for a while, and then
the thing is with Vanilla Ice,
know his name because of his fame, but that's about it, right?
Vanilla Ice was a product of what the 90s used to do when they used to want to copy popular culture, when white America would copy popular culture and create something that they thought that would make a lot of money, which it did. Vanilla Ice sold a bunch of records that first one. But it wasn't sustainable because he wasn't real. He wasn't that real product. But that being said, that happens a lot. That happens a lot in hip hop. The same dude that is sitting up there saying, N-word this and B that.
What's up, Chief Rocker?
What's going on, El Presidente? The same rapper that'll sit up there called everybody out of their name was probably the same one that grew up in the suburbs and went to private Catholic school.
You talk about Clarence. Clarence's parents have a really good marriage. Those guys.
Those guys.
Like somebody was trying to say the other day. Let me see. Jadakiss was doing pull-ups on the side of the street or something, and in the comments was like, "We can't even respect Jada. He grew up and went to a private school." I mean, really, does it make a difference? Like, if someone went to a private school, to their talent, or is it about what your content is whenever you're spitting? Because I mean, truth be told, Biggie's mother did not. Biggie had a really good life, actually, for someone who grew up in Brooklyn, from what I understand. She came to this country for his success.
Kev with the 2-word answer. Who cares?
What happened?
About Vanilla Ice. No, but yeah, I think it does. It matters slightly because of what you're going to say. He said as soon as he said he was from Miami, he lost all credit. That's the part.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and just like what Elliot just said, if your story is coming out that, you know, I had to sell drugs and I had to do this and I had to do that, like Michael Irvin's son, played for the Dallas Cowboys, and you know his son is out there rapping about this and that, and he's like, I don't know what he's rapping about because he grew up in a 15,000 square foot mansion. I don't know what this is. And then for his son to go, well, it really wasn't 15,000 square feet. It was only 10,000 square feet. Like, go somewhere and sit down and shut up.
Good grief.
That's like, you know, tippy toeing around it, because like even they said Ice Cube wasn't even really in the street like that. But he grew up in Compton and he still was in the environment and he could still speak on what was going on in his environment.
Kevin says, if I was still in Brooklyn, I had the similar upbringing, but I was right around the corner from all the action.
Proximity.
Yeah, proximity.
So look, family, I know you guys got a topic that y'all ran with, but the topic for tonight, well, actually, it's the segment that I brought back was the this or that.
I love this or that.
Yeah, I got stuff to piss y'all off, so that's what we're about. So let's cue the intro for this or that. All right, let's see here. So y'all got everything y'all needed to say out your system, so this is a perfect time. All right.
I want to say, I really think this track is nice. I haven't heard it in like about a year. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Cube never said he was gangster, just that he's rapping about what's going on into it. Okay.
Yep.
But he did it with authority. He said it with his chest.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Y'all ready? This is the first this or that. Remember, this or that is two songs that are being paired together, and you have to pick which one is the best of the two. We're not letting you take both. There's no We're gonna have to grab one or the other, this or that. Here's number one.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my pants, put suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, explosion, overpowering over the competition. I'm towering, wreck his shop. When I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that'll all get sliced and diced. Competition's paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I was a fiend. Before I became a teen, I melted microphones instead of cones of ice cream. Music orientated, so when hip-hop was originated, fitted like pieces of puzzles, complicated. Cause I grab the mic and try to say yes, y'all, they try to take it and say that I'm too small. Cool, cause I don't get upset. I kick a hole in the speaker, pull a plug, then I jet back to the lab without a mic to grab. So then I add all the rhymes I had, one after the other one. Then I make another one to diss the opposite, then ask if the brother's done. I get a craving like I fiend for nicotine, but I don't need a cigarette, know what I mean? I'm raging, ripping up the stage, and don't it sound amazing? Cause every rhyme is made and thought of, cause it's sort of an addiction, magnetized by the mixing. Vocals, vocabulary, and verses just stuck in. The mic is a Drano, volcanoes erupting.
All right, y'all. First offense. Is it this, which is LL Cool J, where I'm gonna sit knock you out, or is it that microphone fiend with my man Rakim, Sharita? Microphone fiend. Okay.
They said I was so little. For real? Well, I just kicked the hole in the speaker, pulled the plug, and left.
Word.
He's not.
Word. I'm with you, Kim. Yep. D-Ray, which one for you? This or that?
This.
LL Cool J.
Because for me, hip hop is all about memories and where I was at the time. And Mama Said Knock You Out was part of the time in my life, was probably one of the best times of my life. 1990, 91, from 89 to 91, unmatched. So I'm going with that. That was that song was one of the soundtracks of my life at that point.
Okay, that's cool. I will say definitely that I've been a Rakim fan ever since Paid in Full album, and anything Rakim dropped, I was there. No disrespect to LL at all. That song was fire and still fire in 2025. But Rakim got it for me, and same with L Rock and Kev. So
what he said.
Yep. All right. Y'all still living? All right. Here we go.
That wasn't so bad.
Okay, it's gonna get worse. Number 2.
I must have been on some occasions. I went out like a punk in a chunk, or a sucker or something to that effect. Respect I used to never get, cause all I got was upset when it used to be like, and try to sweat it and like the lip. For no reason at all, I can't recall rolling C's in my face. Down the hall, kicking it in the back of the school, eating chicken at 3. Wondering why's everybody always picking on me. I tried to talk and tell them, till I did nothing to deserve this. But when it didn't work, I wasn't scared, just real nervous and unprepared. Cause it was rapping, no doubt. My pappy never told me how to knock a out. But now in 95, I was surviving, a man on my own. Around with fat lip, yes, shit get blown. I'm not trying to show no macho is shown. But when it's on, then it's on.
Party people, your dreams have now been fulfilled. Get your ass up and let's get ill. That's right, y'all. We more than rough. We're calling you bluff. And when it comes to rap,
yo, don't scandalize mine. I spend too much time straight talk with the catch that etch my line walk. Never fetch it for crime. Hawk, who goes there? Yo, it's a squeeze of 5 fingers, puffing smoke in the bear. Shining black like Darth Vader caps, stay on stare. While we rockin' it, I rockin' it. Like a little ball inside the spray can. Providing 3 coats for both child, woman, and man.
God bless the guard, lady streets, wall to wall it go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yo, you got popped like a flick by that rivalry click and went. Ooh, ooh.
It ain't my fault your ass is on the asphalt. Got your chin touched by my fan who thought you brought harm. You see, I'm iced out like a glass of tea. Better yet, oatmeal cookies. Y'all just rookies to me.
Oh yeah. So was it this Far Side, which is Running, or that, which is of course Sharita's crew, De La Soul, with Ooh 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 Ooh? D-Ray, which one were you feeling?
On what planet?
Go ahead.
And in what galaxy am I ever going to pick against Jay Dilla? I'm just saying.
I guess never.
Never. Far Side, this.
Okay. Sharita.
I thought you was really about to say something else, but no, never. What galaxy, what planet, what echelon could I ever go against Kelvin Mercer? It's always gonna be Kelvin Mercer against the world. Like he's in the top 5 of my influences, like monotone rappers, like abstract words and sounds and phrases. Between him and Guru and Did you hear what he said? His second verse is ooh ooh ooh. De La and Redman.
Gotcha. That I'm gonna tell you what got me back into De La was definitely because I'm a Redman fan, no doubt. But that track, lyrics, everything is fire. Far Side though, before she kept passing me by was like the one that just got me to Far Side. But Running, I'm gonna have to go with Running on this one by a very slim margin.
Slept on album. It
Facts.
was chain linked. Every song in that album was chain linked. The album starts off with a song called BS. and it just goes on and on and on, and it ends on a spiritual note. Life is just a moment in time. Like you got to go and listen to the Lab Cabin California album, guys. Like D-Ray said, it's just tinged.
So El Presidente said that goes hard, the red man, but he loves the far side. I get it. It's like I said, I make these this or that a tough choice.
It ain't been so painless for me tonight. So
okay,
yeah,
all right. Let's see. Let's see if I can crank it up. Let's try this one.
No way you'll never make it. Come with the weak, I break it. Step into my zone, mad rhymes will stifle ya. Lines like rifles go blast when I kick some. A lot of rappers be like one-time wonders. Couldn't say a fly rhyme if there was one right under their noses. I hate those motherfucking poses, but I'm so real to them it's scary. And with my unique skills, nah, you can't compare me. And no, we don't make whack tracks. And all the suckers get pushed back when I'm kicking real facts. I represent, set up shit like a tech boy. You're paranoid cause you're a son like Elroy. And you'd be happy as hell to get a record deal. Maybe your soul you'd sell to have mass appeal. Oh yes, I'm greater than all MCs. When I breeze, give me room please. I be like fascinating when I be updating, cutting off white kids.
Yeah, I know. I went for the juggler on that one. All right. Was it this, which was EPMD with the crossover, or was it that, which was Gangstar with Mass Appeal? Sharita.
Gangstar, Mass Appeal. I mean, for me, it's really going for like, who are my? You're picking songs from groups that I love, and there's nothing that's gonna top that. Now, don't get me wrong. I love, but
it don't top Gangstar.
It's
gotcha. All right.
The beats
all right,
are
dear.
the beats guru. The beats are Premier. The songs are guru. The song words are guru. It's
right.
Unmatched.
It is. Facts. All right, dear. What about you?
Yeah. So yeah, you made my ulcer bubble a little bit with this one. No, because I mean, like really, and y'all gonna disagree with me maybe, but y'all know I don't care. But I feel like the crossover was a great rap song. Mass Appeal is an epic hip hop song.
Facts.
No way you'll ever make it. That's the first line.
You know what I mean? It's like when you think about the crossover, don't get me wrong, that was something that we pumped or whatever, but Mass Appeal, that track to me has a spirit attached to it. That it's just like
Made a statement said that. When you play that for somebody, no way you'll ever make it.
So, Guru in with it, man.
It's gonna have to be Gangstar for me, buddy.
Okay.
What about you, B?
Well, as I said, both songs are definitely memorable. Both songs will move the crowd, plain and simple. I will have to say I'm slided to EPMD only because that's been my group for forever. I'm an EPMD fan, big time.
Now see, here's the thing though. Yeah, facts. Rest in peace, Guru. Here's the thing though. What would have really made me almost quit the center is if you had picked like So What You Saying.
Okay.
Or you know, because So What You Saying is more of a hip hop spirit than crossover.
I got you.
I wouldn't have been able to. I'd have been here like, just take one of my fingers.
Jeez. Well, either which way, I'm glad that you guys really paused on it. All right. Here's our outro, and I actually enjoyed this one.
up, run it back, K.
See, if it was up to get the show, so don't be trying to knock me. I say what I want to say, as long as it sounds funky. Some MCs wanted to buy me, so they try to take stands. But they don't understand, I'm the Mr. Funky Man. I am his head up, down, lift them up and down, smack the two of them around. Let them know who is the drum, who's the tip of the top, the king of the crop, the best under the sun. I'm the Lord, Chief, Doctor number one, Mr. Funky, boom, shaka, rocka, yo, here comes the
Lords.
She said, I won't hold you.
The beat was just, from the start, you start doing that.
You done messed El Presidente up.
We can lift our knees to our chest these days.
Man. Yeah, all right. So again, if it was this, that was Das Effects with Back in Effect. That was
Lords of the Underground.
Man. Thank you. Total brain fart. Lords of the Underground with Chief Rocka. So Sharita has already dropped hers because she ain't trying to debate with y'all.
Period. Like the young
Lords
people say.
of the Underground. Styles Boom wins. Styles Das wins. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Kev. But D-Ray, what about you, brother? The aneurysm finally came.
Before I say, you know what I'm gonna say, Sharita. You already know. But can we take a moment to realize how many pairs of Timberland boots these two groups are responsible for selling over the period from the early 90s until now?
Tim's.
And the cost of the Timberlands, because when we was in the 90s, Timberlands were $65 a pair. And now they're $170 a pair, depending on if you get the broccoli and beef, or if you get the one with the straight up. I can't.
The ankle support, right? The ankle support.
Yeah, if you get the ankle support joints, those are up to $200, and then they go on of how big your foot is, and they really started to compensate for it.
So I'm gonna have to go with Lords of the Underground with this one, just because. Don't get me wrong, I love Das Effects, but if it had been that other Das Effects track, it wouldn't.
They want effects.
Yeah, that'd have been that.
Yeah, it would have been more like.
It'd been more of a battle.
Yeah, I'd have just had to turn my camera off and walk away.
So there's two I missed the mark from. I got it.
It's been Lords because they spent some time in North Carolina.
Okay.
So it would have been Lords for me.
Okay. So she did the loyalty pick. I got it. Yeah. Now
it's almost.
Now I'm gonna tell you, both songs definitely loved by me. Love them both, but I am such a Das Effects fan. Me and Elliot even. Because at that time we had started rapping back then, that's when Das Effects was hot. So even some of our lyrics had emulated them because that was big. Crisscross emulated Das Effects lyrics too.
Y'all do that speed bounce? Y'all could do the speed bounce of y'all could do that cadence?
I think we did like, some of the beginning of a sentence, but wasn't like the whole like. Like my man Books was just killing it in the subway because you phony and you baloney like Oscar Mayer. I'm like, yo, just love the wordplay. Those guys are amazing. But nevertheless, I am a Das Effects fan, so Das Effects would have my vote for that. So, hey man, we just totally destroyed an hour quick. But before we head out, let me see what this 21-second thing is. I can't remember what it is.
And if B-boys on the shirt, I could do windmills. I'm gonna show you how it works. Now just watch how I do it. Everybody stand up and go over and get in.
That's a whole nother level of cardio right there. Whole nother level. Spitting while windmilling.
That dude took 10 years off his life.
That was him spitting?
While
the dude was, that was
while
him?
he was windmilling. Yes. The Funky Lords of ABC and Crisscross.
Snake.
Yeah, so that was when I saw that, I was like, wow. That's some breath control. That's some hip hop Super Saiyan, no doubt, Kev.
That's facts, Kev.
No doubt.
I couldn't do it.
That was craziness.
That more often, V, because I mean, there's plenty of things you could.
Oh yeah.
God.
It does take a little time, of course, editing and patching them together, but I found a way that it's pretty flawless. So I may actually have you guys, like whenever Kev and Mike get back in, definitely say, all right, give me your two, give me your two, give me your two, and we just chop it up on some this and that, because I love it.
Oh,
this and that
you songs and you put them against each other?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
You know, and we should do that.
It's funny when you do it.
It's
funny when you do it.
Yeah, she said it's funner when you do it.
Oh, because it's a guessing game. Well, it will still be a guessing game, but you guys give me the songs and I put them together. So it's the same
we give
thing.
it to you independently, not put it in the chat.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay.
So that we can have it anonymous.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because that was a surprise. I like the elements of surprise when it comes to this or that.
That's what Veep likes to do. He likes to bring the surprise.
Veep will sit up here and have you with your insides bleeding because you can't make no choice.
Now I'm gonna take that nigga away. Give me that. No, but hey, straight up, it was fun. We got the information. We got the entertainment. Thank you, fans, followers, everyone for participating as well. We're going to land this plane. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all you mamas. And, send in the building. I didn't wear mine, but, I'm still raised on old school hip hop. So it looks good on you guys. Looks good. So make sure you bring your friends to come check us out next week. And, we'll be here. We'll have more topics and dope music and all that other good stuff. So just like Rakim says, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. So always keep it on the center. Yes, sir. Y'all be blessed, be safe, and we will see y'all next week. Peace.
In the center.
All righty.